What if you could unlock the secret to a truly happy and fulfilling life? It's not about chasing money, fame, or even success. The answer is simpler and far more profound. Robert Waldinger, a psychiatrist and the director of the longest-running study on happiness, has spent decades uncovering what really makes life meaningful. And today, he's here to share that wisdom with you. Stick around, because what you're about to hear could completely transform the way you live and connect with others. Let's discover the secret together. Most of what we believe about happiness comes from looking back at our lives. Memory, however, is flawed. It's selective and shaped by emotions, often distorting reality. But what if we could observe lives as they unfold, tracking the choices people make and how those choices shape their happiness and health? That's exactly what the Harvard study of adult development has done. This remarkable study began in 1938 and has followed the lives of 724 men for over 75 years. It seeks to uncover what really matters for long-term happiness and well-being. Few studies like this survive even a decade, often cut short by funding issues, lack of interest, or logistical challenges. Yet, through persistence and some luck, this study has endured. Today, around 60 of the original participants are still alive, most now in their 90s. The study has also expanded to include more than 2,000 of their children, providing a rich, multi-generational perspective. The study began with two distinct groups. One group consisted of Harvard sophomores who later served in World War II. The other group was made up of boys from Boston's poorest neighborhoods. These boys grew up in challenging circumstances, often living in tenements without basic amenities. Despite their vastly different starting points, the study shows how their lives took unpredictable turns. Some of the men became factory workers, doctors, or lawyers. One even became president of the United States. Others struggled with addiction or mental illness. A few climbed from poverty to great success, while others experienced downward spirals. Each story adds a unique layer to this comprehensive study, making it a treasure trove of insights into human life. Every 2 years, researchers reach out to the participants, asking them about their work, relationships, and health. For those from Boston's inner city, the attention can feel unwarranted. They often ask, "Why do you keep studying me? My life isn't that interesting." Harvard men, on the other hand, rarely question why their lives are worth studying. The study goes far beyond simple questionnaires. Researchers visit participants in their homes, review medical records, and even analyze blood samples or conduct brain scans. They've spoken with children and, in recent years, involved spouses. When the wives were finally included, many couldn't help but say, "It's about time." One of the clearest findings from this study is that relationships are crucial to a happy life. It's not just about having connections, but about their quality. You could have hundreds of friends online and still feel lonely if the relationships lack depth. What truly matters is having people in your life who care about you, support you, and bring you joy. These relationships protect us emotionally and physically. They improve our health, extend our lives, and make daily life richer. Reflect on your own life for a moment. Who are the people you turn to in tough times? Do they understand and value you? If so, treasure those connections. If not, it's never too late to build deeper relationships. Reaching out to someone, spending time together, or even sharing a heartfelt conversation can make a significant difference. Another key insight is the importance of being present. In today's world, we're often rushing, juggling tasks, and thinking about what's next. But happiness often lies in small, quiet moments. A shared meal, a walk outdoors, or a moment of laughter. When was the last time you truly paused and savored the present without distractions? Resilience also plays a vital role. Challenges are inevitable, but how we respond to them shapes our happiness. Some participants faced immense struggles, yet those who leaned on their support systems and found ways to adapt often emerged stronger. Resilience doesn't mean avoiding difficulties. It means finding the strength to navigate them. The lessons from this study are both simple and profound. Happiness doesn't come from chasing wealth or fame. Instead, it stems from focusing on what truly matters. Meaningful relationships, living in the moment, and finding strength in adversity. These insights remind us of how we can create richer, more fulfilling lives. What have we really learned about what keeps us happy and healthy throughout life? After 75 years of studying people's lives, the answer is clear, and it has nothing to do with money, fame, or working endlessly. The most powerful finding is this: good relationships are the foundation of health and happiness. It's simple but profound, a truth we often know yet fail to prioritize. From the tens of thousands of pages of information collected, 3 crucial lessons about relationships stand out. The first is that social connections are essential. People who are more connected to family, friends, and community tend to be happier, healthier, and live longer. Meanwhile, loneliness can be toxic. People who feel isolated or disconnected from others often experience greater unhappiness, physical health problems, and earlier declines in mental functioning. They even live shorter lives. At any given time, more than 1 in 5 Americans reports feeling lonely. What's even more striking is that loneliness isn't just about being alone. You can feel lonely in a crowd or even in a relationship if the connection lacks depth. The second major lesson is that the quality of relationships matters far more than the quantity. Having lots of friends or being in a committed relationship doesn't guarantee happiness or health if those relationships are filled with conflict. High-conflict marriages, for example, can be worse for health than divorce. On the flip side, warm and supportive relationships are protective. When we followed participants into their 80s, the data revealed a fascinating pattern. We looked at their midlife relationships to see if we could predict who would age happily and healthily. Surprisingly, it wasn't cholesterol levels, financial success, or career milestones that determined their happiness later in life. It was how satisfied they were in their relationships at age 50. Those who were most satisfied with their connections were the healthiest and happiest at 80. Good relationships also seem to act as a shield against the difficulties of aging. Many happily partnered participants in their 80s shared that even on days filled with physical pain, their overall mood remained positive. In contrast, those in unhappy or strained relationships experienced emotional pain that amplified their physical struggles. These findings highlight how meaningful connections can soften life's hardships, even as we grow older. The third key lesson is that good relationships don't just protect our bodies. They also safeguard our minds. Being in a secure and supportive relationship as we age helps maintain memory and cognitive function. Those who felt they could depend on their partner during difficult times often had sharper memories. In contrast, participants in emotionally insecure relationships experienced earlier memory decline. Interestingly, the study also found that relationships didn't have to be perfect to be beneficial. Some couples in their 80s bickered frequently, but as long as they felt they could rely on each other when it truly mattered, those arguments didn't take a toll on their well-being. This core message, that close relationships are critical for health and happiness, feels almost obvious. It's wisdom that's been passed down for generations. So why is it so hard to put into practice? Part of the challenge lies in our human nature. We often want quick fixes, hoping there's an easy solution to living a good life. But relationships are anything but simple. They're messy, complicated, and require continuous effort. The work of maintaining close connections isn't glamorous, but it's necessary. It's not something we do for a while and then stop. It's a lifelong process. One of the most insightful findings from the study involves retirement. The people who were happiest after retiring weren't necessarily those who had the most successful careers. Instead, they were the ones who actively worked to replace their workmates with new playmates. They understood the importance of staying socially connected even after their professional lives ended. Instead of letting their social circles shrink, they took steps to keep their relationships vibrant, finding new ways to connect with others. This all points to a fundamental truth about life. There's no single accomplishment, milestone, or quick solution that can guarantee happiness. Instead, it's about showing up consistently for the people who matter, putting in the effort to nurture those bonds, and appreciating the richness they bring to our lives. Relationships are far from perfect, but they're the thread that ties everything together. The research from this 75-year study doesn't just offer insights into the lives of its participants. It provides a guide for all of us. It challenges us to focus on what truly matters and to make choices that prioritize connection, understanding, and support. In doing so, we create the foundation for a life filled with health, happiness, and resilience. When the men in the 75-year study started out, many shared the same beliefs as millennials in that recent survey. They were convinced that fame, wealth, and career achievement were the keys to a good life. It's a belief that society still reinforces, encouraging us to push harder, reach higher, and prioritize success above all else. However, what this study has shown time and again is that these pursuits alone don't lead to lasting happiness or health. Instead, the people who thrived the most were those who leaned into their relationships with family, friends, and community. But what does leaning into relationships look like in real life? It can be as simple as replacing screen time with meaningful people time. Instead of scrolling endlessly, you could call a friend or visit a loved one. It might involve reinvigorating a stagnant relationship by sharing new activities, such as taking long walks, enjoying hobbies together, or having regular date nights. For others, it could mean reaching out to a family member you've lost touch with due to misunderstandings or grudges. Family feuds are all too common, yet the emotional cost of unresolved conflict is immense for everyone involved. Rebuilding those connections, while challenging, can bring incredible rewards. It's important to remember that relationships don't have to be perfect to make a difference. What matters most is the effort, trust, and care we invest in them. Even small steps can deepen bonds and create a sense of belonging. Mark Twain beautifully captured this idea when he said, "There isn't time, so brief is life, for bickerings, apologies, heartburnings. There is only time for loving." His wisdom serves as a timeless reminder. The good life is built on good relationships. Thank you. Applause. True happiness and health don't come from fame or wealth, but from the relationships we nurture. As Robert Waldinger emphasized through his 75-year study, a meaningful life is built on deep connections with family, friends, and community. These invisible threads bind our hearts, ease our pain, and give us the strength to overcome life's challenges. Ask yourself, who is someone you've lost touch with but wish to reconnect with? Who in your life deserves more of your time, attention, and understanding? Don't wait for a tomorrow that's never guaranteed. Life is fleeting, and every moment spent with those we love is an invaluable gift. You can start today. A simple phone call, a heartfelt check-in, or just spending a little more time with the people who matter most can profoundly change how you experience life. These small acts of care can transform relationships and bring immense fulfillment. If these lessons resonate with you, don't let them end here. Join us on this journey. Hit subscribe to stay connected and explore even deeper insights from those who have unlocked the secrets to a fulfilling life. The journey to building a happy, meaningful life starts right now. The decision is yours to make.